Hello, thank you for joining us on today's webinar, Surefire Ways to Attract and Retain Young Donors. To guarantee the staying power of your nonprofit, capturing the attention of 18 to 35-year-olds is key. That's why on this webinar, we're sharing how you can effectively market and communicate the importance of your cause to this audience. You'll also hear from real-world examples of how digital fundraising and engagement tools have attained and kept young donors' interest. We hope you enjoyed today's presentation, and for your reference, we'll send the recording and slides to all registrants via email. We also want to encourage your participation in today's event, so feel free to submit any questions you have during the presentation into the questions box on your control panel, which you should be able to find on the right-hand side of your screen. Then at the end, we'll be having a Q&A session with our experts. Speaking of whom, without further ado, I want to introduce our speakers today. We're going to begin by hearing from Kristen Faith, who is the founder and executive director of Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence. She's pioneered a new wave of social change by inspiring millions of women and men to join together to combat abuse. She's the youngest executive director to found a domestic violence organization and proudly generates over 3 million online daily visitors. Next, we'll hear from Sarah Baker, who's an integral part of the digital marketing services team here at MobileCause. Sarah advises and guides MobileCause customers with digital fundraising and donor engagement strategies and has empowered countless customers to accelerate their efforts through the help of nonprofit technology. Now, they've put together an information-packed agenda for you. They're going to cover cause engagement, the journey and storytelling, young donor engagement campaigns, digital channels to help keep and engage your donors, and then study results and best practices. So before we dive in, I have a quick poll here to launch. So go ahead and let us know by selecting from directly on your screen here. Do you have a young donor engagement strategy? Yes or no? So just mark your selection, hit submit, and I'll leave this open for another 10 seconds or so as we get everybody participating. Excellent. And I'm going to go ahead and close this poll down and share the results. Cool. So it's looking like the majority of you are in that no category. Kristen, what are your thoughts on this? Is this a surprise?
It actually is a surprise. I really liked the question, and I'm really excited to share some feedback of what our organization does to engage those millennials and to inspire them to be donors and supporters and activists for our social causes. So I would like to thank you very much for that warm welcome, and thank you everyone for joining us here this afternoon. My name is Kristen, and I created a nonprofit 11 days after I got out of an abusive relationship. It was a way for us to create an avenue for men and women to get out of unhealthy relationships and ultimately make it cool to talk about the issue. We all know someone who has been in an unhealthy relationship, and many of us here might have also been in one ourselves. And one of the solutions that we try to create as an organization is to create cool ways to get young people involved. Even looking at this photo right here, you'll see a lot of different women of all different ages, from the 20-something-year-olds all the way up to the 60-something-year-olds. And the way that we create an avenue for individuals to be a part of our organization is we do it through different campaigns, we do it through different outreach efforts, and we really try to challenge the societal norm of what has traditionally been done with the issue of domestic violence. So as we go into my segment here, you will get to be able to learn, some tips that we have done and some things that you can implement within your organization. So a little bit about Break the Silence. Our mission is to provide community resources and support services to victims, survivors, and their families. The beautiful thing about what we do is that we provide the aftercare for domestic violence. When people think about domestic violence, they tend to think about bruises and physical abuse and going into hiding with shelter services, and you're absolutely right. There is a huge need for crisis support services for victims. But one of the things that I think our community as a whole is lacking is the support after they get out of those situations. So when we have clients who are trying to rebuild their lives afterwards, or maybe they're in a place of wanting to give back, it's really important for them to feel supported, and most organizations aren't adequately addressing those needs. So what Break the Silence does is we create a platform, a place, a safe place of sorts that gives these survivors and their families an opportunity to speak out and break their silence. And the way that we do that is by the programs that we offer, and as well as the campaigns that we offer as well, which I will get into in a minute. A couple quick facts about our organization is we understand that there is a huge need to address this issue. But it's also very important to realize the tragedy that comes with this cause. About 1,500 domestic violence victims are murdered every single year. And what we do as an organization is we have created campaigns and programs surrounding this issue of domestic violence homicide. We've created the Angel Run, which we will get into here shortly as well, and also campaigns that give these families a place to share their stories. As we all know, whether we're talking about homelessness or human trafficking, it's really important for us to tap into those stories. It's really important to tap into the real life struggle that our clients are facing. Whether we're talking about puppies or breast cancer, everyone has a story. And by sharing our stories, we're able to connect and share with our donors that, hey, we are real people also. And when we connect with them on a human level, people are able to engage and understand the real impact that they can make by making a donation to your organization. Our vision for our organization is ultimately to end this issue. We would like to become a household name, so organizations and businesses and people, families, all know that they have a resource when it comes to Break the Silence. We are a huge connector in connecting organizations, peoples, and businesses to ultimately create a solution to end this problem. Domestic violence has been around for way too long, and we're here to make a difference in whatever way that looks like. And we value taking an innovative approach because domestic violence has been around for so long, and it really takes innovation to create a solution to this problem. So we are not your traditional organization. We are going to continue thinking outside of the box, continue pushing the envelope and the limit to really engage people to talk about this issue. So how we tell our story. I really love this slide because it really embodies our organization as a whole. With an organization called Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence, really it says what our mission is in our name, that we're here to encourage people to share their stories. A lot of what we do is online, and a lot of millennials are online as well. So we started our organization on Facebook 11 days after I filed for a restraining order against my abusive ex-partner. And so online, you'll find that we have a lot of different avenues how people can engage with us, and especially engage with us as far as making a donation. We live in a day and age right now that people, are just so busy all the time and don't have the opportunity to fill out a document to make a donation, or maybe they don't have the time to go online to make a donation, and that's where text messaging comes in. When we were introduced to Mobile Cause, we absolutely fell in love with this platform and have been advocating for them for the last, I believe, 3 years that we've been using them. Text messaging allows us to send messages, blog posts, hey, we're having a campaign coming up, hey, you want to buy tickets to an event. Anything that you would essentially text a friend to, tell them about your organization. This is a perfect way to engage your followers and the people that you care about to engage with your organization. Peer-to-peer, this is huge for us because it is through peer-to-peer, word of mouth, that we've been able to share our message so far. We have about 85,000 supporters on social media, on our Facebook page alone, and we get a lot of people that message us and ask for support and ask for help. And so what we really feel strongly about as an organization is if you are happy with the support you are receiving from us, or if you know someone who is in an unhealthy relationship, please have them reach out to us, get help. We are here to be your support system. When anyone contacts our organization, they will be in great care, because they will be receiving support from survivors who have also been in unhealthy and abusive relationships. Our survivors turn into advocates and turn into ambassadors, and ultimately are thrivers. Beyond just surviving an unhealthy relationship, we want to make sure that survivors and the people that we empower are now giving back and passing the baton to help someone else get out of that situation. Very much like online, social media has allowed us to connect with people all across the globe. We have done a lot of campaigns online that have tapped into our mobile cause platform that has allowed us to really attract donors, supporters, people who want to get to know our organization. And we also do fun little contests to get people to subscribe to our text messaging campaign. This has been a huge help for us, and people love winning stuff. So if you are eager to get more people to sign up to, receive your text messages and all that good stuff, I would encourage you to give away t-shirts or stickers or something that really resonates with your followers, that remind them of you. Each of our organizations that are here represented today are all unique in one special way, or more special ways. So it's really important to really tap into your identity, tap into your branding, to find how you can get people to sign up to your text messaging campaigns, and really have a place for them to connect with you beyond just social media and online. Events. So we have also used Mobile Cause for our events as well. One of the campaigns that we've done with Mobile Cause that has been showcased over the past few years is our Angel Run, which I will get into here shortly. Events and having a platform like Mobile Cause has been really useful for us, because we have been able to sell tickets, send out messages, keep track of how much money we're raising for that particular event, and that helps us internally really track what's going on. So if your board of directors is eager to know, okay, well, how much have you raised for your last Angel Run, we can literally go onto our platform and check that out and give them that answer. Also, you can see what events are working and what are not working, and it'll help you try to engage different types of people based on that campaign that you're offering. And call to action. Creating a relationship with your donors is extremely important. Donors want to know that they are appreciated, they're valued, and you can also send out shout outs over text messaging, which is really fun on the go. If you're scheduling text messages out a couple months in advance, you're going to be able to send out text messages to shout out your donors, or maybe even shout out your volunteers who are doing an amazing job giving back to your organization. And here's a quick snapshot of the different campaigns and different outlets that our organization offers. This encompasses a lot of what we do in one beautiful slide. So we have our Facebook page to the left, which embodies all of our events, a lot of survivor stories. It also, as you can see on the top photo, we have shirts that we use as well. This is a great way to engage your millennials who want to represent your brand. One of the things that we do really well, and we've seen it really well accepted by our followers, is the shirts that we provide. We want to make sure that the shirts that we are giving away or selling are hip, that they're fun, that people want to wear them. Also, we want to make sure that they're great quality. So we use a great resource called Bonfire to sell our shirts, and we can continually have campaigns as well. And what we also do to tie in Mobile Cause is that if we have a new t-shirt campaign, I'll send a link on, just like the one you see on the top right-hand corner. I'll just put in a short link. It's called a bit link. And you can tell them, hey, we have a new shirt campaign. Go and support our survivor retreat, and proceeds will help support survivors attend our program coming up this spring. Social media is a great way to engage donors, to see what's working, what's not working. The beautiful thing about any social media platform, for the most part, they will be able to tell you what days are good days to post. They'll also tell you, what posts are working and what posts aren't working. That will help you kind of develop a stronger social media marketing campaign for whatever you have going on. Depending on who you're wanting to reach will depend on which platform, which social media platform you want to dive into. We use Facebook pretty heavily because that's where all of this came to be. And social media has been a great way for us to engage donors in a really unique way. On the right-hand side, we do a lot of videos, a lot of graphics, a lot of text messaging to engage people. Young donors especially want to see fun, hip, cool, bright photos, videos, because they only have a few minutes of attention span, and they want something fun and great that they can attract, that they can relate to. So make sure that when you are creating any sort of content within your organization, that you have young people in mind, because quite frankly, the millennial generation is one of the fastest growing demographics in the country right now. So when you think of them and think of the bright imaging and short text messages and videos, you are sure to engage a demographic of people who are really, really eager to get involved with a great cause. And our Angel Run, this is a beautiful campaign that we created a few years ago, and the very first time that we launched it was on Mobile Cause. I had this fabulous idea, which was inspired by one of our volunteers. Her name is Mallory Murphy, and she ran 13 miles every day for 13 consecutive days. Yes, 13 miles, 13 days, and raised about $1,500. I said, if one woman can do that, imagine what many more can do right alongside her. So we brought the Angel Run to life. The Angel Run is a place where we honor women who were murdered from domestic violence. We share their stories and we create teams in their memory. We raise funds for scholarships that we then create and give away in their memory, whether it's the Alexandra's Legacy Scholarship. That's Alexandra right there with her baby Adelina, who was only 10 months old when actually 5 months old when her mama was killed. And we honor them, and we do this alongside their families, and this is a positive way that we give back to the community with a special purpose. Again, the Angel Run is a huge campaign that we've done over the last 3 years now, and it's a great way to engage people in a unique way. It's a beautiful way to engage people just by texting. If you look in the flyer that we created, literally people, all they had to do was text Run 4 Angels to 71777 to make a donation, to give, to sign up to be a runner. And ultimately, it's a place for people that can donate or fundraise on the go. This is our biggest fundraiser that we do every year. And the first year that we did it, we raised $45,000. It was an awesome opportunity for us to partner with families and to really give back to our community. The peer-to-peer fundraising page on Mobile Cause was a great way for us to engage people, to continue texting them on, hey, these are our updates. Hey, we have 5 more days to donate, or sending links for blogs that highlighted stories like Alexandra's. The Angel Run is a fun and easy and free way for people to give and to get involved. So definitely, I encourage people to create campaigns, be creative. If you don't have to spend money on creating an event outside of the internet, I would absolutely encourage you to do something like the Angel Run, because you don't have to host a place. You don't really need too many resources other than Mobile Cause. We did start doing a 5K last year, which was really awesome and really well received by people here in Colorado Springs. It has been a great way for the community to engage with us and also for people to learn about domestic violence. Connecting with donors and reaping the rewards. Millennials want to be connected and involved, so give them a voice. And it's so true with that sentence, because when you think about millennials, I'm a millennial myself. So when you think about millennials and think about the reality of who they are and what they believe in, quite frankly, they want to be heard. Quite frankly, they want it to be about them. So giving them a platform to share their stories, to be heard, to be a part of something that's greater than themselves is really important to millennials right now. I am meeting tons of millennials who are looking for a cause that really resonates with them. Domestic violence is not everybody's cause. It's not like our favorite puppies and kittens charities, or it's not about the arts. Domestic violence is a very harsh topic to talk about for many people, especially if they have been affected by this issue. So for millennials, they're looking for a way or a cause that really resonates with them, and it really takes proper messaging and branding to engage them to be a part of your conversation. And the best way to do that is speak their language. We don't have to talk in a really fancy way to engage them. It really takes speaking their language, being hip, using the cool words that all millennials are using, or even contacting celebrities that a lot of millennials are in support of right now. Proven strategies, pay attention to what works. So very much in alignment with what I just mentioned. I won't read all of these, but basically, when you are real and authentic with millennials, they are going to be more excited to be a part of your organization. So think of creative ways, and if something is not working, it is absolutely okay. You can change it, and you will be able to continue developing and redeveloping what you have going on, and that's absolutely okay. I'm pretty sure and pretty confident in saying that millennials like change. They like new things. So if you're continually improving what you have, if it's not working or maybe it's outdated, feel free to change it, switch it up, throw some different colors on it, call it something else, and you are definitely going to attract more people and get more people to talk about your cause. This is a really beautiful quote that really sums up what we believe in at Break the Silence, and I'm just going to read it real quickly. The best way to engage young donors is to make the conversation cool, relevant, fun, and most importantly, impactful. One of the things that I say about Break the Silence, to sum us up in a nutshell and to close out here, is that we have to make it cool to talk about this issue of domestic violence. It's been around for way too long. I grew up with domestic violence and ended up getting into an unhealthy relationship later on in life. It needs to be relevant, it needs to be cool, and we need people to talk about this issue in order to create solutions. All of us here are here for a reason, because we are very passionate about our causes, we're passionate about creating solutions, and if solutions mean continually creating something new in order to get more people to be a part of the conversation, then hey, we should all be for it. So thank you all for giving me the opportunity to share. I appreciate the opportunity to share what I know and what I've been able to learn over the last 6 years of leading this organization. If anyone has any questions, I will take them later. And Sarah, I believe the floor is now yours.
Excellent. Indeed. Thanks, Kristen. That was, of course, very interesting and helpful. Thanks for all the good work your organization's doing. And indeed, next up we have Sarah.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you so much, Kristen, for taking the time to share your story and the strategy behind your organization with us today. So now I just want to reiterate a lot of the points Kristen made about her organization that can work for your organization to use digital channels to help you attract and retain young donors. So the first thing I want to look at today is a recent report, the Millennial Impact Report, that came out with a lot of important key findings to tell you about the millennials that you're trying to attract and bring to your organization. So some of the findings that we found is millennials really value interaction with the causes they care about. So this can go back to when Kristen was talking about using Facebook or any of your other social media channels to connect and speak directly to the millennials, your supporters, and potential donors in their community. And they're very tech savvy connected, and they possess a lot of potential for creating social change. In some ways, these are kind of obvious findings. When you think about this generation, they grew up with social media. So they are more exposed to and more aware of current events and social issues compared to generations of the past. They get news every day on multiple channels. So they are always finding out about new things that are happening in their community, in their country, and in the world. And so related to this is because they are so exposed to and connected to things on social media, they have the ability to find communities of like-minded individuals where they can express their opinions, learn more about the causes they care about, and share this out with their friends and family. So one of the things that you want to think about is how you can take advantage of this. So some of the things you'll want to do is make sure the millennials and all of your supporters really understand how through your nonprofit, they can make change in their community. So what can they do by working with you to change things for the better? So thinking about this, you'll want to tap into their specific interests. So what are social issues and current events that they are passionate about? What is it that they are talking about? What is it they are sharing with their friends and family that you want to help change in their world? So when you think about things like this and thinking about the millennials, what they are really interested in is changing the immediate world around them. By changing the immediate, small community or town or county that they're in, they're really changing the world. So how can you engage with them on a local level? So to reiterate some of the things that we've talked about on the different ways to engage with them is to think about the different channels that you have available to you. So one of the things that you can do with the millennials is do peer-to-peer fundraising. Peer-to-peer fundraising is a really great way to engage with the younger generation because it gives them a way to give back to your community even if they themselves can't donate. They can create a fundraising page and raise money on your behalf by asking their friends and family to support them. A really popular trend right now is instead of asking for gifts, for your birthday, your graduation, is to ask for your friends and family to donate to your favorite nonprofit. So you want to make sure that you give this generation, these people, the ability to very easily do that for your organization. The other thing you want to think about is text messaging. It's a funny thing that millennials are very known for being attached to their phone 24/7. Most people even, sleep with it in their bed, using their sleep trackers and crazy things like that. So text messaging is the way to communicate to them. You want to make sure that you're communicating with them regularly, make sure it's personal, it's in a language that they can understand, because this generation also knows when they're being advertised to. So you want to make sure that when you are communicating with them via text message, it's something that's important and relevant to them, quick and easy for them to digest. And then, of course, we can't leave out social media. You want to always try to reach your donors and potential supporters where they're at. So in social media, you want to think about all of the different channels that you have. It's not just about only Facebook, only text messaging. It's going to be a multi-channel approach, continuing to use email, Facebook, learning about newer platforms and how to engage with platforms that maybe aren't as friendly for longer posts, but are still a way to impact and communicate with your donors and supporters. So to dive in a little deeper on peer-to-peer fundraising, so like I mentioned earlier, millennials might not be a generation who can necessarily give too much money to your organization, but they have big networks and followers on social media. So what you want to do is give them a really easy way to set up a page where they can fundraise on your behalf. So this can be something that can be done as part of an event. So like Kristen's Angel Run and her 5K, she can have her participants and virtual participants raise money by creating a fundraising page that they can personalize, where they can share their story of why they're raising money on your behalf. And like I said, when you think about the millennials, you want to think about their entire network, who they're connected to. Once you reach them, they can help you reach their friends and family, because they'll care so much about your cause that they'll want to be sharing this out. Especially, like I mentioned, a big trend is doing this in lieu of, asking for money or gifts for your birthday, for Christmas, different events like that. Let your fundraisers just fundraise for you and share out your story. And then we're talking again now about text messaging. So this is a big thing, that Kristen uses with her organization, is sending out text messages. It's a really quick and easy way that you can engage with your donors, and especially with the younger generation. So something that you'll want to think about when you are sending text messages is the content that you're going to send out. You're going to want to think about things that are in real time, because that is how millennials are engaging with the internet, with current events and social media. So you'll want to send out things that are relevant, interesting, and kind of urgent. Now, I mentioned earlier, millennials are a generation that kind of know when they're being advertised to. So something you can do is personalize these messages to them. When you have their contact information, like their name, you can say, hi, Sarah, it's so great that you're interested in my organization. Here are 3 things that we've accomplished this year. You'll want to share your success with them, make them feel involved, and even give them ways to get involved. So maybe, send out a text message letting them know how they can volunteer, prompting them to share some of the great content you're putting out on social media, be it, a YouTube video, a Facebook video, sharing out a Facebook event where they can, click to share that they're going to the event to invite their friends and family. Text messages are a really great, quick and easy way to do this. And one of the advantages, of text messages over email is how much more often they're actually opened and seen. So the great thing about that is you're going to know that they've at least seen your message, and then you can reiterate that message across all your different social media channels, including email. So again, social media. Social media cannot be discounted, especially when you think about how often millennials are using social media. And this is also where they are getting all of their news about things that are happening in their community and in their world. So on social media, you'll want to make sure that you are encouraging millennials to, get to know your organization. So this can be done, with regular posts, with videos, links to forms where they can sign up to volunteer. Maybe even putting out a survey on social media. Ask them, where do they want to be communicated with? Do they want to hear from you on Facebook? Do they like receiving text messages? Are they actually interested in getting an email subscription? You can ask them these kinds of questions on social media. And the great thing about social media when it comes to peer-to-peer is you can make it really easy for them to just, like I said, create that page, and then they just share it out on their social media. And this is a way for them to help, share with their friends and family the causes they're interested in. People talk about, millennials and Gen Zs being kind of a self-absorbed group, but in a way, this is a good thing because they want their friends and family to know about the things that they care about. They want people to know that they are actively involved in organizations like yours. I myself actually have a 17-year-old brother, and he uses his social media platform, his Instagram, to talk about causes, to ask people to register to vote. It's a very big platform for the young people, and they are very motivated to be involved in organizations that are making change in their local community. So just to, reiterate some of these best practices when you're starting to think about the younger generation, so the millennials like me, or the Generation Z like my 17-year-old brother, you want to think about what you can do to get them involved. And the number one way, of course, that you can do that is just by telling your story. When we think back to Kristen, it's her story that started the seed of this organization and is so powerful and has encouraged people to share their story. So talk to them about what you do. What is your mission? What are your values? How are you currently doing this? What are your plans for the future? How can they get involved to help further your mission? Tell them the value that you have for them and for their neighbors and community. And think about ways to get them involved that aren't necessarily asking them to donate. Encourage them to volunteer, to share your posts on social media, to learn more. The more they know about your organization, the more likely they are to become donors for you in the future. So again, this is all going to be done on social media. So do use content like Kristen said, they're bright, they're well put together. Millennials are so used to an assault of advertisements all the time. You want to make sure that your content looks good but stands out. So you can think about things like Kristen's event of the Angel Run. What's something fun and unique that you can get your millennial and younger donors involved with? So it doesn't have to be a giant 5K. It can be small, tiny community events of like 10 to 20 people that you can then get to bring their friend the next time. But think about what could be your Angel Run. What is your event that's going to help tell your story and get people involved to share their stories? And then once you have all of these things in place, once you're using social media, running some peer-to-peer, having some events that are unique to your organization, make sure it is really easy and mobile-friendly, online-friendly for your donors to actually donate. So once it comes time that they are actively and intimately involved with them, you want to make it super easy for them to donate. So whether that's on their phone, when they're on your social media channels, or when they're on your website, make it as simple as possible for them. They're used to all of these different ways to pay their friends back for their Starbucks coffee. So you want to make it just as easy for them to do that as it is to give that $5 to your organization instead. So these new generations, they believe quite strongly in their own power to create the change they want to see in the world. And this is, a truly inspiring fact, and it's something that we want to take advantage of as nonprofits. We want to show them that, this is the vehicle that they are going to use to create that change.
Excellent. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing that valuable information with us. And as a quick reminder to everyone, if you haven't yet, please submit any questions you have into the questions box on your control panel. Now, before we jump into Q&A, I have just one more poll I'm going to launch here. The question is, what are you most interested to try to engage your younger donors? So go ahead and select your preferred option here, what you're interested in using, and hit submit. Excellent. Responses are streaming in here. I'll leave it open for another 10 seconds. I'll share the results with everybody once we're done. Excellent. Going once, going twice. Love it. Let me close this down, and I'll share the results. So close tie here towards first place between text to donate and peer-to-peer fundraising. Excellent. Coming in hot is storytelling, then events and volunteer opportunities. Thanks for all your feedback there. And let's switch gears for a few minutes. And at this point, I want to pose some of the questions that you asked during today's presentations to our presenters. So let's see, our first question here is for Kristen. How big is your team for marketing? You seem to share a lot of Facebook. Do you have team members that focus on specific channels?
We do. So at one point, it was just me. And as you all probably know, that social media is literally a job within itself. So I was managing clients as well as managing social media on all platforms. And we restructured that. And now we have a social media team and a creative team. So we have a team in total of about 60 volunteers. And with our creative department, we have about 5 who help develop our campaigns and market things and stuff. And our social media team, we have someone who oversees Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. And we have a social media director who helps oversee all of those channels and administrators who actually post the content.
Wow, cool, thank you. Next question up is for Sarah. I've never run a peer-to-peer campaign. What's the best first step to roll out such a campaign?
So I think the most important step to roll out a peer-to-peer campaign is to actually start mapping out who are your first supporters, the first people that you can get involved. So you want to start thinking about, your ambassadors, and that's usually your biggest volunteers, some steady donors, maybe your board member, and even some of the staff on your team. So the first thing you want is a couple key people to get started, kind of like your seed. So your first people who are going to be sharing this out on social media to help it actually get that viral effect. And then, of course, the next thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to create your initial peer-to-peer landing page. So you'll need some collateral, and that's usually your logo, some images, a video maybe talking about your organization. And then, of course, you'll need to make sure that you have a platform, something like MobileCause, to build this all on and use to have a peer-to-peer fundraiser.
Good insight. So I think this next question can be directed to Kristen. Can you share some more examples on connecting donors with the people their donations benefit? What is the best way to do that feels authentic?
So if I understand the question correctly, is showing impact. Can you repeat the question actually? I want to make sure that I answer it correctly.
Oh, of course. So it was, can you share some more examples on connecting donors with the people their donations benefit? And what's the best way to make that feel authentic?
Sure. So the best way really is storytelling. And we have tons of survivors who are just so eager to share their story, which makes it really powerful for donors to say, hey, these are the real people that you're helping. Also, really interesting is a lot of the people who are donating are actually the people who we are helping, which is very unique as well. But the best way to showcase that could be raw videos of them, submitting videos from home about their story, that a program that they attended with you, or maybe a workshop that you hosted, and sending that in a text message to your donors. Because when they donate online or through a campaign, typically their information is stored and you can then send them a text message in the future. So you can literally write a blog about them, which is really cool and easy and fun, and you're able to repurpose that. So repurposing content has been our best friend over the last few years, because we have so much stuff to share. We can then recycle what we used maybe 3 years ago and put it back out there saying, hey, remember that time? But sharing stories is a great way, whether it's through text messaging, whether it's a webinar, or whether it's on your website or on social media. Sharing stories is a great way to show people that, hey, these people are real and this is how you made a difference.
Cool. Thank you. And our final question here, I believe, can be directed to Sarah. So since this generation is using text more than email or voicemails, do you suggest we have one keyword or perhaps multiple keywords for our cause and events?
Yeah, so you can definitely have, a main keyword as a way for people to opt in to receive messages from you. But then there's the ability to have multiple keywords. So when you think back to things like Kristen's Angel Run, she'd probably use a specific keyword, for Angel Run for her 5K, and then a different one for people who just want to be, involved in general communications about the organization. So the answer there is that you can have multiple keywords kind of specific to different things, but of course have a generic keyword that you're going to use all year long to promote your organization and get subscribers.
Excellent. Wonderful. Well, thanks, Kristen and Sarah. And to our audience today, if what you've heard today interests you, you may be happy to hear that we have an Essentials package available with a special promotional price of $2.99 a month in celebration of National Nonprofit Day, which is this Friday. And this will help get you set up with everything that you've heard about today. We also offer free personalized demos here at Mobile Cause. So if you're interested, you'll be assigned a fundraising expert who will focus on your specific goals and showcase exactly how you can reach those goals. If you're interested and want to schedule a demo, simply fill out the form as you exit today's webinar, and we'll be happy to get that set up and scheduled with you. Now, as always, visit us at mobilecause.com to view pricing, maybe watch a 4-minute tour, or access our free fundraising resources. You can always give us a call as well at 888-661-8804. And in closing, I just want to thank all of you for attending our event today, and also again offer up a huge thanks to both of our speakers, to Kristen and to Sarah. That being said, have a great rest of your day, friends, and good luck with your ongoing efforts. Bye for now.